Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like, you dislike, go ahead, shoot me a call, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. Now, look, man, we got a couple different things to cover today. It's actually a little bit going on in the sports world. I've been keeping up with the Champions League lately, and soccer isn't anything that's, my forte, which is why I don't talk about it often, but it is very interesting, and Real Madrid has been killing it, and I like Real Madrid, so, I'm liking it, but I'm learning more and more about it. But one of these days, y'all just gonna pop up and hear a whole full segment about Real Madrid and how they won the World Cup and all of that. It's gonna be crazy, but that's completely different. The main thing and the main focus here is something much more interesting. Jontay Porter of the Toronto Raptors, he was banned from the NBA for life. Banned for life. So he was gambling as he's in the NBA. And we know that's a zero tolerance policy there, but this man had an NBA contract worth about $2 million. And when he was sports betting, he sacrificed it all for just under $22,000 in profit. So, when I first heard this, I'm like, well, how the hell did they figure this out? Like, how do they find out when people are betting on games? And when I looked into it, I'm like, yeah, this was really his fault. It wasn't like, something happened where he could be innocent. No, this was all his fault, bro. He was kind of being a dumbass. And, he wouldn't be a dumbass if he didn't get caught, because I'm a firm believer. Like, if he would have got away with it, if we would have read this report and we would have seen, his earnings was $15 million, we would have been like, damn, bro, kind of smart. He got away with it. He did his, like, we would have gave him some props on that. But the fact that he got caught by doing some stupid things is what makes it so much worse. So looking into it, he got caught because there was the sports book that he betted with. There was multiple sports books apparently, but they reported a surge in his betting numbers under his stats. There was a lot of bets going for the under of his totals and rebounds, points, assists, minutes, all kind of stuff. Anything you can bet on. It was a large spike in the under of everything in every category. So an organization that's partnered with these sports books, they ended up reaching out to the NBA and saying like, hey, there's this same account, they're betting on Murray. And then they started betting unusual numbers. Now, in the reports, it was said that, the bets ranged from $22 all the way to $22,000. And I'm like, damn, that's a crazy spike. So it just lets you know, like, okay, whenever you betting or whenever these things happen that these companies see on the back end, they take alert to that. They take alert to these unusual activities that happen of, okay, you usually bet $50, $100, $300, and then all of a sudden 15 grand, 10 grand, 4 grand, like they actually pay attention to this stuff. And this is what got him busted, because this ultimately led to the investigation in the NBA. Now, it gets even more interesting because as the NBA started looking into it and seeing like, well, what the hell is wrong with him? And like, is this actually happening? Is he actually betting on himself, betting on the NBA games? Oh, man, it gets more and more sad because, the NBA, they found that Porter revealed information about his own health to other sports bettors that ended up spiking the numbers and the unders. But in these games that he were playing, or the games that were betting on, he ended up leaving the game early on several occasions with injuries and illnesses that were going on. So how could this help your case? It's mad suspicious. It's mad suspicious. And now there was games where he was playing 3 minutes, then left the game early. Played 4 minutes, left the game early. betting on the Raptors to lose multiple games. And best believe each one of those games that the numbers were spiked in, they lost those games. So the NBA is like, okay, this isn't a big star. This is a guy who's barely getting minutes, who is a reserve type of guy, a guy who's only making $2 million in the league where the stars are making $22 million a year. So the league's like, all right, let's take a look at this. And yeah, eventually bro got busted because he placed at least 13 bets in the NBA. They found that he was using an associate's account. And yeah, he didn't make a lot of money. So he really just messed up the bag. Bro fumbled. He fumbled. And ultimately, to come up with only a little under $22,000 in profit, that's just sad. This is why I say you're a dumbass, bro, because if you're going to bet on these games, start hitting hard, bro. You know, come right off the block, betting 15 grand. Making sure you can take away some profit. I know it's a risk, but if you're going to take a risk like that, you can't be playing around, bro. You can't be taking baby steps to try and, you know, get to the ultimate goal here. And it's like, I'm looking at this like, what the hell you even need to bet on sports for anyway? Your contract is over $2 million or right at $2 million. Don't quote me on that. So what the hell is you doing betting on games? And I know you're trying to probably flip some money. Ain't no telling what he has going on, you know, outside of his life and outside of the NBA, because these are real people. Maybe he has some stuff going on where he had to clear some debts. Who knows? But ultimately, you got to do a little bit better than that. You got to do a little bit better than that. Out of all the people who's getting minutes and all the different stats and the people in the league that you can bet on, you choose to bet on yourself. And the way you mix it up is just not good. Going out the game multiple times, only playing 3 to 4 minutes. Oh, that ain't good. That ain't good. Yeah, bro folded that back. Anyway, look, man, I'm looking forward to a couple different playoff series here. And, you know, despite some of the injuries going on, this Orlando Magic taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs, I think it's going to be a great series here. And I really want to give credit to the Orlando Magic because win or lose, I think this season should be proclaimed a success because they've had multiple top 10 picks in the past 3 years, and they've finally been able to turn it around. This is a team that's been stuck in the lottery for year after year after year, and now you see them actually stacking pieces and making something happen. You look 4 years back, the Orlando Magic only won 21 games. Now they won 47 games, and they're in the playoffs, and they have a legitimate chance to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, I mean, they should definitely be proud of that. And the fact that there's been actual progression over these years of getting multiple draft picks is huge because there's a lot of teams, much like the Detroit Pistons, which I hate that they've been doing. They don't see any progress at all. They've been struggling. They've been getting worse for the last 4 to 5 years, even though they've been getting top 10 picks in the NBA draft. So I got to give a lot of credit to the Orlando Magic and just stepping it up, making sure they got the right pieces, making sure they're doing the right trades to get these guys. Because go back to 2021, they won 21 games there. In 2022, 22 games. 2023, 34 games. And now they got 47 games. And they play the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the Orlando Magic, they look very, very promising. And they actually have direction and a solid foundation within this team. So that's huge for them. But the Cavs in the Mavs series, originally, I favored the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this because that's a solid team over there. They got a lot of talent, and that was why I was favoring them because of the talent they have on that roster. However, I think the Orlando Magic is going to win this in 6 games. And yes, I'm saying the Orlando Magic will beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs in 6 games or less because I'm choosing the Magic to win simply because, I mean, they have a top 5 defense and they're the healthier team regarding this series and regarding injuries of who can play and who's healthy and who's not. You look at the Cleveland Cavaliers roster, they got some key guys who are beat down. Donovan Mitchell is on a day-to-day injury. Darius Garland, another elite guard, on a day-to-day injury. Karis LeVert is on a day-to-day injury with his knee. There's so many injuries going on, and I know these guys are probably going to end up playing, but when you play through an injury, you're not going to be as aggressive. And it's not a thing like, oh, I'm trying to scale back or anything. It's just naturally you're not going to be as aggressive. And certain things that you may have been able to do, you may not be able to move the way you were. So these things are going to hurt. You may be slightly out of shape, and you have to be in shape come playoff basketball. So, Cavs got 3 key injuries going on right now from legitimate playmakers on their team. Meanwhile, the Orlando Magic have 0 injuries. They have a healthy Paolo Banchero. They have a healthy Franz Wagner. They have a healthy squad over there. And this team, they're 3rd in points allowed right now, and they fighting with nothing to lose. So I think they're going to actually do what it takes to get over that hump and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games. I'm saying it's going to happen, and I'm excited for it because it's going to be a showdown, and nobody's really expecting it, which is why I'm voting on it and which is why I'm banking on it, because I know it's going to happen. Anyway, look, man, I'm excited for the playoffs, though. I'm really excited. I hate that all the injuries are going on right now. You got so many people that's out with injuries, and it's killing me. Zion Williamson's out with an injury, so he's not going to play in this play-in game happening later on tonight. Jimmy Butler is hurt, and I'm sure that he can probably win, but if they go against the Celtics, no Jimmy Butler, that's an easy sweep. Joel Embiid is out in his 76ers, or he's going to play, but he's injured. We seen in the play-in game against the Miami Heat, he was oh my gosh, significantly out of shape. Then the Cavs and Magic, they got 3 key guys that's hurt too. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tough, and I'm looking forward to it, though. Hopefully, some of these guys can come back and heal in the time it takes to, play in the next series, and at least some sort of interesting games, like a game 3, game 4. That would be helpful for like a Jimmy Butler to return if they do go on to the next series. Other than that, though, if you heard something you want to chime in on, go ahead, shoot us a call, 219-413-9405. Of course, we're going to play your take back. We got some news coming up in just a second, and then also more about the NBA playoffs. We're going to take a quick break, play some ads, and it's halftime. We'll be right back. All right, news for the run. Let's get into it. We got the last slate of the NBA play-in games. And tonight, you're going to see a game for the 8th seed. In the Western Conference, you will see the Sacramento Kings play the New Orleans Pelicans. And the winner of this game will go against Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the NBA playoffs. And in the Eastern Conference, they're also playing for the 8th seed tonight. You'll see the Miami Heat take on the Chicago Bulls, and the winner will take on the Boston Celtics in the opening round of the playoffs. And these games are going to be played later on today. I think, don't quote me on the time, so I'm not even going to go there. You got Karl Anthony Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves are set to play the Phoenix Suns in this round 1 of the Western Conference. Now, originally, I said Karl Anthony Towns was not going to be playing in this series, but in a series of reports that recently came out, Karl Anthony Towns was cleared to play basketball. So this is going to spark up a whole new conversation between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns, because now you got both teams at full strength, and the Timberwolves, they can get these boys the business when they got Karl Anthony Towns back and Anthony Edwards playing at this level that he's been playing in. So I'm excited to see it. And you move over to the MLB, the Philadelphia Phillies. They swept the Rockies in their last matchup. Pitcher Chris Sanchez, he also had a great game. He pitched 6 innings, and he pitched 10 strikeouts with 5 hits and only 1 walk. So he had himself a game. The San Diego Padres, they've won 3 straight series, and this includes games against the Dodgers, the Cubs, and most recently, the Brewers. The pitcher Michael King, he had a close no-hitter the other day. He pitched 7 innings and had 10 strikeouts, only allowed 2 hits and 1 walk. That man had himself a game. The New York Yankees, they struggled in their recent loss to the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Chicago Cubs, they've won 2 straight series. They finished out a 3-game series 2-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and in total, they've won 4 of their last 5 games that they've played, and they're currently playing the Miami Marlins right now, and it's a 3-game series. I'm actually going to be attending this game. I was supposed to go yesterday, which is why you didn't receive the episode. But the game got postponed. I think they were scared it was going to rain, and it did rain a little bit, but I think they just postponed it rather than trying to delay it time after time. But I'm excited for it. So it's postponed to Sunday. I'm going to see a doubleheader on Sunday, only the last game, though. So it'll be exciting to watch. I'm sure the Cubs are going to dominate. Right now, they are smacking up the Marlins. Right now, I believe it is last time I checked, it was 7-1. It was killing them. So let's see. I'm waiting for this to load. Yep, 8-1 right now. Cubs are winning right now, and you're at the bottom of the fifth. So, I'm looking forward to the Cubs winning. It's always fun when you go watch your team win, but I'm not sure who I'll see pitch because it's a change now. The game was switched. I got to go back and check on that. Anyway, look, man, we got a new series here. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets are playing each other in the first round. I love to see it. I'm excited. We've seen what happened last year. Last year, this was a clean sweep over the Los Angeles Lakers. The Denver Nuggets, they brought them brooms out. They brought them brooms out, and they got the Los Angeles Lakers out of there in 4 games. Now, a lot of people have been anticipating this, and they're like, all right, hey, is the Lakers going to get swept again? They played the Nuggets. They haven't been able to beat them in the regular season, and now they got to play them again in the playoffs. They didn't really change too much on their team. Are they going to get swept again? I find it extremely, extremely difficult that LeBron will allow himself to get swept twice by the same team with the same players. I just find it unbelievable that will happen. LeBron is far too smart of an NBA basketball player to have learned nothing from his previous experience against the same team with the same players. I just don't see it happening. I see the Lakers end up getting at least 2 games minimum because of this, but ultimately the Denver Nuggets will win this ball game in 6. They're going to win the series in 6. I see that. It's no doubt about it. And although the Lakers, they've been playing better and they've been good. We've seen them in the play-in. They've been okay. Sometimes they go on these streaky runs and these streaky games, these streaky weeks in facts. Ultimately, we're not going to act like the Lakers was complete garbage last year. We're not about to do that because the only real difference is they got rid of Russell Westbrook, brought in D'Angelo Russell, and they got rid of Patrick Beverly. Other than that, that's the main difference. And D'Lo has been playing well, but he still has not been the most consistent player that you can bet your bottom dollar on. I'm not going for that. Lakers, they're a solid team, but they're awful when LeBron isn't on the floor. When LeBron is not on the floor, it probably doesn't show statistically, but looking at the games and when you're watching the games, you can see the game shift away from the Lakers when he's not on the floor. You can see the IQ even just sink to a lower level. And it's sad because, they can go on a 10-point run. They can be on a 12-point run. But as soon as LeBron goes and gets some rest, that's when you see guys start making bonehead mistakes. And the decision-making isn't even there when LeBron isn't on the floor. And because the Denver Nuggets have so much help coming off the bench and they got guys who are high IQ guys playing in the game, I think this is going to be a key difference maker of why they can beat the Los Angeles Lakers again. And how could I forget? They have more talent than the Los Angeles Lakers. They're going to beat them. And performances from Roy, AD, D'Lo, pretty much anybody who's not named LeBron, they're going to have to come with it if they want to even keep this series close through all 4 quarters. You got to outplay them through all 4 quarters if you want to get 1 game, yet alone 4 games. It's not happening, man. The Denver Nuggets, they're going to win. They got too much bench support. They got better rotations. And I think in-game adjustments is going to be a huge separator from what we see Darvin Ham do and then compared to Mike Malone and what he does when he's coaching his team. And ultimately, I'm going with the Denver Nuggets to win this series because they have more talent on their side. That's why I'm choosing them. They're better. They're gonna out-coach the Lakers. Darvin Ham don't do nothing but sit there with his hands in his pocket. That man's a character. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be cool, though. Anyway, look, man, Denver Nuggets in 6. I'm betting on it. I'm excited for it. The games start this Saturday, actually, which is why I wanted to roll this out. But it'll be a handful of games that you see Saturday when the playoffs actually start. But it's here, man. It's in full effect. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Shoot me a call, 219-413-9405. More of a chill episode today, but hey, go ahead, shoot us a call. Let us know if you got a quick take, you got a question, anything you want to share with us. Of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And I can't forget to leave you with a positive note. I'm going to just go ahead and leave you with this, man. I'm going to tell you this. Do what's best for yourself. And not in a selfish way, but also not in a... I'm about to get off track. I'm over here freestyling. I was about to tell you some BS. So I'm going to keep it simple because I'm not about to overthink this thing. All right, look, I was about to try and get deep, but every day ain't meant for a person to be deep. And you know, hey, that's going to be the message. Sometimes you just got to let it be. It is what it is. Sometimes it ain't meant to be as deep as you want it to be. It ain't meant to be as serious as you want it to be. That's the lesson right there. I was about to freestyle and it was about to be some BS that I was going to feed you. And I'm not even with that. I'm not about to act like everything is so deep when it's really not. So that's the key right there. That's the takeaway from this episode. I hope you go on, enjoy your weekend. And that's the key that you need to remember. Everything is not as serious as it may seem. So, you know, sometimes scale back and just realize, let it be what it is. It is what it is. All right. Other than that, man, hey, I'm going to see y'all Monday. And send this to a cousin, a brother, a niece, a nephew, a coworker, a friend, a spouse, anyone you know who will enjoy sports. And until then, we will be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.